Well, we are about 2 days into a letter check inspection, we call it, where it's a scheduled inspection of the aircraft where we take it down out of the flying program and spend some time going in depth and looking over things that we don't normally get the opportunity to look at while it's out on the line flying. Usually it's quite a bit more in depth than you normally would have. So we spend a lot of time pulling off panels, sometimes propellers, open up cowlings and covers, and taking a look at stuff inside, looking for corrosion, bad hardware. We have multiple phases of this thing to go through. So we have a look phase and we have a fix phase to go on. We have a couple days that we prepare ahead of time. We get the aircraft into the hangar here, we get stands put in place and then prep everything, and then we can actually start tearing into it. So right now we're about 2 days into that look phase where we're actually spending the time to start tearing it apart. So these types of inspections give us that opportunity to pull up that panel and take the time to tear apart other components, to find that surface behind there, to do that x-ray, to do that dye penetrant dip on something, to do some other type of deeper in inspection to discover something that could be wrong that you might not normally never see. So this A check is just, like I said, the beginning, the scratching of the surface, but they're very important because in the long run, it can roll downhill if you were not to be looking at it. So this is like the first crack at seeing that. So these A checks come along more often than a B and a C just because it's due in their cycle. So we take the time and the effort and spend the money that we can to make these things as good as possible. And here, we give a good product to our flight line counterparts, who are then in turn able to give a great product to the flight crew. So it sometimes gets hard to take and see that at that 70,000 foot view. However, it is important to give the flight crews to make sure that they're coming home safely, that we do a good job in here.
An aircraft isn't much good if it's parked on the tarmac waiting for repairs. Airmen at the propulsion shop at Hurlburt Field try to keep that from happening by overseeing one of the most important aircraft components, its engine.
Every plane that has a mission from this base has one of our engines on it. We work on every engine on this base. Canon sends their engines to us, Japan sends some engines to us, and England sends engines to us.
A quick run through the maintenance operating instructions helps identify problems with the engine, allowing mechanics to identify and rebuild the damaged parts, sometimes revealing a souvenir in the process.
And we do get engines in sometime. They got bullet holes in them. One of them had a 50 caliber round still in it. That was pretty cool to see.
Senior Airman Bazor finds that stuff very rewarding.
If you ever get the chance, it's a good job to cross-train into. I like it, it's fun. Your inlet, your compressor, and your turbine. Definitely interesting. You got so much to learn, and you make a big impact.
Airman First Class Robert Mason, Hurlburt Field, Florida.
It'd be really tough for us to do our mission as an Air Force without hydraulics. Planes wouldn't fly, I know that for sure. That's why I'm all right being hydro troop. People say what they say, that's all right. My mission is to take the hydraulic components off of the aircraft we have here and service them, bench check them, and send them back to the aircraft, good to go. Actually, when I go out in my car and I drive and I see the aircraft on the flight line, I just say to myself, man, I did that. I had a hand in making these things get up and down in the air.
I'm A1C Christopher Pearson. I'm an electronic warfare apprentice. We work on the countermeasure systems that go on the plane that counteract the missiles being fired at the plane, so the defense systems. Yes, sir, I love it. Like I said, it's very rewarding when the guys come off the plane and we know we brought them home safe, and they used our systems to get them back home, and it's a very rewarding job. The systems wouldn't work correctly. When the aircraft gets deployed, a missile would get shot at the plane, and we wouldn't be able to defend it correctly. It might send out a wrong signal, and the aircraft might get shot down. The parameters are very, very tight, so we want to make sure everything's perfect. Nothing can be out. Nothing can be out of line. So we want to know exactly when this plane's overseas, it's going to do its job. If it's all passing good, we're happy and the system's happy. Here at Special Ops, we're pretty awesome. So it is a pride thing, and knowing what we do to save the lives of the guys who are actually going overseas and defending us directly at the tip of the spear, it's pretty awesome, pretty rewarding.
I'm Senior Airman Ken Hansen. I work out of Electronic Warfare, 1st SOCMS Component Maintenance Squadron. I think we are saving the mission, saving lives, because without electronic warfare, the airplanes could easily get shot down by IR or RF guided missiles. The best part about my job is knowing firsthand that in the AOR, my systems have saved airplanes from getting shot down, and that's a first-hand experience that back in 2008. What were they? It was an FE that came off the plane, and he was like real happy because they saw a IR missile shot at them, and the airplane detected it in time and just jammed it out of its way.
Sometimes the mere sound of having an AC-130 overhead is enough to break the will of our enemy. They know that if they choose tonight to fight, they may very well understand better our squadron motto, that you can run, but you'll only die tired.
This aircraft is a CAS platform. That means close air support. Close air support's very difficult to do because your biggest concern is anti-fratricide, not hurting the good guys on the ground. The reason we do that really well is, one, we can stay overhead for a long period of time. We're a left side or a side shooting platform and a constant pylon turn. So basically, we can put rounds down on just about any part of the area at any time within seconds if we're needed to, and we're very accurate.
Everything's good to go. You can call them out. Clear props.
Probably know the H model right now. It's the oldest gunship we have still in service. It's been constantly deployed to Afghanistan for almost 12 years now. So as you can imagine, we take to heart the fact that we're going to be leaving this AO soon, because it's kind of been our war for the last 12 years. I don't think we'll be coming back. They're going to probably retire these aircraft within the next year.
And the big thing about this specific type of platform you see right behind us here is that this airframe and all the H-model airframes were ones that were flying in Vietnam. It's the exact same airframe, just with upgrades to it over time. Going all the way back to 1968, 1969, people have been flying on this exact airframe itself in defense of our country. So for a lot of people everywhere, it'll be very sad to see the H-model go away. As the new gunships come out and they have a lot more technology on board and less people, having more technology is great because it lets us be able to do the same amount of stuff with less people on board, but at the same time you don't have everybody that is a specialist in their specific career field or their specific crew position.